This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. We all know that you get free shipping on millions of products with Amazon Prime, but you get a whole lot more. Like free music with Amazon Prime Music, free TV, movies, and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free Twitch subscription to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming, plus a whole lot more. We've got links to all of these features and some of our favorites, plus a 30-day free trial, all by going to f5live.tv/prime. Chat is going a little nuts over you upgrading to 300 megabits. Anyway,
they probably think, or I'm not seeing the chat. Is it that they think that's so low, or do they think that's really high? Because I think that's low.
Wait, did he say he only updated to 300 megabits?
I mean, should I have? Here's the thing. I haven't. I mean, look, I'm embarrassed. Like, there's certain things I'm embarrassed as a tech person to admit, but especially because I am obviously think that everybody should have broadband, but like, and there's almost nobody who doesn't, but you know, there's pockets. Anyway, in other countries it's hard to get broadband, but anyway, point being, like, this is when I signed up for my plan like 8 years ago. It was actually 75, and they bumped me to 100 at one point, and I have never noticed a real like problem with the bandwidth for whatever it was I was doing. And so the minimum is 300. I could spend another like $30 a month to get it to a gigabit, but I'm not sure if I would notice the difference.
Right.
So I don't really want to spend like, $360 a year or whatever that adds up. No, it's $3. Yes. $360 more a year for something that I don't know that I'll see. So 100%. That's, I mean, I agree. There's nothing to be, I'm not showing off. There's nothing to be impressed about. 300 minutes. It's just 3 times better than I have now.
Just as a note, before we get into the topic, the broadband fax also requires information about whether it applies for the Affordable Connectivity Program, which is the subsidy program for people who are lower income. So anyway, let's talk about Ticketmaster and what appears to be their complete misunderstanding of how the internet works. So Taylor Swift announced a new tour for the first time in 5 years. Whether or not you're a Taylor Swift fan doesn't matter. You almost certainly can recognize that Taylor Swift is popular. Her tours tend to sell out pretty quickly. And a new tour after, a long period, in this case, partially because of COVID and, other issues. There's a new album, all kinds of things. Clearly, there's going to be a lot of demand for these tickets. Add into that the scourge of the internet, scalper bots. For sure, we're going to come after tickets to the concert. If they're coming after video cards, they're certainly going to come after Taylor Swift concert tickets. Clearly, the resources put behind the ticket seller were going to need to be immense. In an era of cloud computing, you would go into Azure or AWS and tell it, I'm going to need more instances behind my load balancer starting at this time. And it would automatically scale up, give you all the bandwidth you need, and everything is fine. Ticketmaster, however, seems to have missed all of that. Either they didn't know that Taylor Swift is popular, that bots exist, or that the cloud exists. I don't know exactly where their problem came in, but within moments of pre-sales opening up, Ticketmaster completely collapsed in on itself like a dying star. As such, all kinds of problems happened. The bots that were poking at the system every few seconds automatically were able to get tickets. Human beings, however, were getting locked out of the system. getting confirmations for tickets that they didn't end up getting charged for tickets that they ended up not getting. In one case, one woman showed screenshots of her bank where she had been charged 13 times for tickets that she did not receive, putting her into, you know, a black hole of overdraft fees and whatnot. Ticketmaster has they kind of pointed, you know, the meme of the three Spider-Mans pointing at each other?
Yeah.
That's Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is pointing fingers at everybody but themselves. They claim that the bots were a problem. They're like, apparently Taylor Swift is popular. So shame on you for wanting tickets, apparently. And the end result is that they canceled all non-presale sales of these tickets. Because apparently, after the pre-sales and the bots and the crashes and whatever confusion in their inventory comes from this poor girl getting charged 13 times for tickets, they either have no tickets left or they don't know how many tickets they have left. And so they just shut down regular sales of tickets. I wouldn't have wanted to be in the building while this was happening.
So,
it sounds like sheer chaos, but what?
So who has the tickets? Like,
right.
When they say shut down, I heard this, but I don't understand. Are they just, I mean, were all the tickets sold to someone already, or
the records of the company, which can't necessarily be trusted, right? Because one girl got charged 13 times for her order. The records for the company show that they're out of tickets. But are they? I don't know. General sales hadn't even started yet. It was only the pre-sales, which, you know, are limited to, you know, whatever Amex holders, you know, whatever the rules are for pre-sales for any particular event. Mm-hmm. Pre-sales locked it up, killed the system, potentially screwed up the inventory or depleted the inventory. I think they don't know, personally. I think they simply don't know how many tickets they have, and they're going to have to do some sort of a forensic auditing before they have any idea what happened. That's my my feeling on what's going on there, and they're not ready to say it.
Would they be better off sort of just, I don't know, like, obviously there's probably going to be lawsuits anyway, but like,
there are.
Can they just have a situation where they just like cancel all the refund all the current sales and like scale up capacity and just start over again?
Potentially. I guarantee somebody who had one the first time and doesn't get him the second time,
would be unhappy. But some of those people were probably bots,
probably,
which cannot really be totally helped.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it's weird because on the one hand, if you pay attention to the news lately, everybody's talking about concerns about the economy, inflation, recession, problem. You know, are people willing to spend money on luxury items? And then we have an uproar over people being unable to purchase concert tickets that cost hundreds of dollars a piece.
True.
I don't know how to interpret that, because
in fairness,
those people were
In fairness, during an economic downturn, particularly during a recession, the entertainment industry thrives.
Really?
Yep.
People just want to be entertained.
Yeah. I guess it's an escape from what's going on around them. I don't know. But the entertainment industry thrives. Other luxuries do not. But for some reason, the entertainment industry, particularly movies and concerts, thrive during an economic downturn. The gaming industry has joined that collection in the last decade or so.
Huh.
Fascinating piece of information.
Well,
I don't know why I know it.
yes.
It must
Well, I
have
mean,
factored into an article at some point.
I mean, if you're unemployed, the video gaming section could be very important because you might
True.
have nothing to do, but to sit.
True.
Um, but
I know
the
that
but like
Mark Lauder, who has been on the show in the past, he used to play maybe Call of Duty with a couple of guys who were on unemployment, and all they did was play the Xbox and smoked weed. So
yeah, I mean, anyway, it's it's I mean, I'm sorry for those folks. I mean, on the other hand, some of them may end up being several $100s wealthier than if they had not gone.
True.
I mean, than if they had gone.
Right.
So
That's
I
interesting.
don't.
I didn't notice that you said that backwards. I totally knew what you were saying.
Okay. Right. So they're going to be, they under the premise that a penny saved is a penny earned. They probably earned, some people probably earned hundreds. I mean, what does it cost to get a ticket? I mean, I'm sure it's probably at least $100, right?
For sure.
For a probably that's like the minimal seat, right?
Yeah, the up top seats.
Now, are these tickets going to now show up on resale markets though? I bet they
100%.
will.
100%.
So you can still buy a ticket.
Yep, you're just going to have to go to
spend a lot of money on it. Right. So what you've really done is moved the nexus from one corrupt group of people to another. You moved it from Ticketmaster, who owns the industry and therefore can do what they want in terms of fees and upset people.
Mm-hmm. And what do you, as a consumer, what are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. To scalpers. But hey, I guess you're helping small business. The scalpers are small businesses, mostly, probably, right?
Probably.
So somebody else in the line gets to take a cut. I mean, you don't have to go. Like,
there's no legal requirement to go to the concert.
You don't have to go, and my personal opinion is that you would probably be better off just sitting on Spotify and listening to some great metal playlists. I was thinking of putting together a playlist actually called "What to Listen to Instead of Taylor Swift," and putting that out on social. Look at this as an opportunity to broaden your horizons to good music, but I mean, I don't know. I've been to concerts, I've been to sporting events. I always feel really bad about if I'm spending like a lot of money on them because it's experiences are really important because you don't get to have them again. But
sure.
It's on the other hand, it's like, wow, if I see something that's like $300 for ticket, I'm like, wow, that's like 2 hours or $300 or that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking up how much it would cost like to take my family to a Broadway show. And that, you're talking like $500, I'm not each, but like, maybe a ticket would be like $150, $200 for a bad seat. And I don't care. I'll take the bad seat. I won't spend money on to get a better seat because that's already bad. It's already a lot of money, but man, for you go to that Taylor Swift concert, you better, for the money you're spending, you better not be drunk, and you better not have to go to the bathroom, because every minute you're spending a lot of money, so you better be fully in that experience. I mean, look, they're going to get a lot of heat from the government because this is a very popular thing for the government to do. Nobody likes Ticketmaster, and I don't think Ticketmaster has enough, I don't know, donor power or whatever with politicians to stop this. But also, let's talk about what this is. They're going to have to show up. I bet you that they're going to hold some type of a hearing in Congress or in the Senate, and they'll have somebody from Ticketmaster come, and there'll be a bunch of footage of politicians yelling at them that they're terrible people and that this is a terrible monopoly and that we should break it up. And then nothing will happen, and we'll go back, and there'll be another story like this in a while. There's
So
nothing is going to, yeah.
On that topic, more interesting than the House or Senate committees calling them in to yell at them, the Department of Justice has initiated an antitrust investigation. We know that when the DOJ gets involved, it's more likely that something can come of it. If they find anything they think they can pounce on for some good public juju, they tend to. Whether or not anything comes of it is a whole different thing. But, you know, the DOJ over the years has opened, has filed antitrust suits against Microsoft and Google, and,
It's more, the Ticketmaster's more of a monopoly than any of them.
Agreed.
The thing, though, about Ticketmaster,
what else is there other than buying it secondhand at StubHub later? Basically, every venue has exclusivity with Ticketmaster at this point, including small venues.
Can you still? And I honestly don't know because I'm not done this much, but can you still go and buy things at a physical box office and avoid the fee that way?
Nope. Can you go and buy it at a physical box office? Yes. Does it avoid the fee? No, because now the agreement with Ticketmaster is that all ticket sales run through them. So you can go in person, but you're still paying the fee.
So if I go to, like, here in New York, we've got lots of Broadway theaters. Mm-hmm. You can go to the Broadway theater and they have a box office where you can buy things. You can buy tickets. If I go to their box office for that theater, the people who work there are just giving a protection racket fee to Ticketmaster?
Yes. It's how it works here. Our Straz Theater and Ruth Eckerd Hall, both, you can go to the box office, but they're just processing it through a different UI of Ticketmaster through their POS version of the software. In fairness, they're both POS, but the letters stand for different things in both contexts.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I would
it
encourage.
Sure does.
If anybody asked me, which
I cannot tell you how angry my father was the last time he went to a box office, because he gets annoyed at a red light, like. He's got all kinds of weird things, and the Ticketmaster fee is something that he just could not deal with. So he always, even if it was way out of his way, he would go to the box office to avoid the fee, and then he got hit with a fee at the box office. Oh, I would have loved to have been there to see it. I can only imagine how he responded to that.
That kind of suggests that you shouldn't bother going to the box office then, right? I mean, if you're
it was the last time he did.
Gonna pay the convenience fee, but there's no convenience, but you're inconvenienced.
Yeah,
it's like paying for delivery when you get takeout. So yeah, that's well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe the artists and the venues could get involved here, because I don't think anybody's forced the venues to use Ticketmaster, right? I mean, they could choose an alternate way.
Theoretically, absolutely. The question is, at this point, is there an alternate way, right? Is there another system that isn't Ticketmaster? Because Ticketmaster kept buying the others, and now that they're part of Live Nation, which already owned another ticketing system when they bought Live Nation, Ticketmaster in 2010, I don't know that there are any services out there that are even trying to compete with Ticketmaster, because, David and Goliath, right? How do you take down the giant? You can start knocking on the doors of of theaters, hey, we
I
can
mean,
be your
I think
exclusive.
I think there's probably a great opportunity. Listen, if people want to go to the,
Probably.
I don't think this is that complicated. Like, I mean, I guess the contracts are complicated, but I don't think that would be that difficult to like, if somebody could sign up, unless they were locked into the contract with Ticketmaster for some other reason, like maybe the artists have to do the artists have to use Ticketmaster, or does the vendor have,
because
is it the venue?
Live Nation puts on most of the tours at this point.
So
Live
I mean,
Nation
I guess
underwrites a lot of tours.
Well, I guess that could be a problem then. But I mean, if you were,
and that's
like,
where the antitrust
your
case is coming in, right? That's
the
DOJ and the attorneys general for both North Carolina and Tennessee have all three opened antitrust investigations because of this. Live Nation, funds and underwrites so many of the tours, and then they own Ticketmaster, and they require the venues to use Ticketmaster for their tours. Well, if you're using Ticketmaster for your ticketing for, these events, well, you've already got an account. You're already selling tickets through it. Well, maybe at that point, it doesn't make sense for this event to go through this ticketing system and this one to go through this one. I bet that's how we got where we are, and I imagine that these three investigations, which I imagine are going to be just the beginning of it, because I don't see Florida not joining in with this, for example. I imagine that's how we got where we are, was Live Nation buying Ticketmaster, forcing Ticketmaster on their events, and then venues going, well, we're already required to use Ticketmaster for these, maybe we just move over there, and then everybody else went out of business.
Yeah, maybe. Well, sucks. Maybe something will come of it, because incidents like this are the only chance for there to actually be a change.
Yep, 100%. Hopefully, that change will come. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZLive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.